Mothers are the most powerful people in society. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, good communication, and family relationship building, but I also head an international nonprofit related to women and mothers. And in this video, I want to talk about mothers and how powerful they really are. In this video, I want to talk about mothers and their power that they bring to the world. I want to talk about what they do for families and what they do for nations and societies. Society has been devaluing mothers for years. In fact, the organization that I head, the Worldwide Organization for Women, was actually founded years ago, back in 1977, because it was concerned that the movement to empower women, which wasn't necessarily a bad movement, actually had behind it this undertone to devalue motherhood. And sure enough, that is what has happened. So over the years, as women have increased in their feelings of importance and power as women, mothers have started to feel like they're not important. In fact, part of the movement that happened in the 1970s was to suggest that mothers were not as important as career women, that women could do something besides just take care of children, besides just have families. Well, what in the world did that message send? The message that was sent was, your true power comes from doing things outside of your family. Don't let your family and your children hold you back from your true potential. What a notion. Every mother who actually has really embraced motherhood recognizes that her greatest moments, her greatest joys, her greatest sense of value and accomplishment comes from raising her children. There is nothing that can replace the influence that a mother has on the hearts and minds and lives of the future generation. And she knows it. She's so careful about which school she chooses, which books she reads, which movies she allows her child to see, who she wants the child to be friends with. All of these things are very deliberate decisions that the mother makes because the mother does not want her child tampered with in a way that would hurt the child or hurt her whole family unit. Mothers are more than just people who wipe noses and clean up messes. Mothers are the heart and hearthstone of their families. Mothers hold the heartstrings to their children's hearts, and those children will come back to their mother bond again and again and again. And anyone who tries to de-seat the mother or to damage the mother bond will ultimately be the ones responsible for the destruction of society, because it is the mother who holds the society together by holding the heartstrings of the children. As she holds the heartstrings of the children through her bond and attachment with the children value family because they value mother. They value what mother stands for, all her morals, principles, values. Even if they don't want to live them themselves at the time, they will continue to respect them because of their respect for mother. But if mother is de-seated, disrespected, and brought low in society's minds, then anyone can become mother for the child. And then society becomes wild, selfish, and can be controlled easily by people who just want to throw money and movements at the children's hearts and minds. And sadly, right now, we are seeing ourselves at a time in history where this is happening. I know people have a variety of views related to things such as abortion and sexual movements and all those kinds of things, but I will tell you those movements actually led to devaluing mother. It's important to recognize that's actually why my organization fought against the abortion movement from the very beginning, because those movements suggest that being a mother is not the most important thing in the life of a woman. And you know what? what? I didn't know until I became a mother that I could feel as fulfilled as I did with a child. I didn't know that it wouldn't be just me giving to the child, which people focus on. They say, wow, mother, thank you. Thank you for giving us so many years of your life. Thank you for giving all these things to the children. And they make it seem like mother is somehow just some glorified servant. But actually, the child and the family give back to mother. They give her strength and identity and purpose and motivation to continually improve and to become a stronger version of herself, which in the end strengthens all of society. So let's talk about what mother does for family and society. But before we do, click that subscribe button now. There are so many videos on this channel related to strengthening the family bonds and making sure that as a mother or as a father, you can do the best job possible by your children. Click on the subscribe button now so that you can be on the road to learning self-government for your whole family. So what exactly do mothers do for family? Sure, many people focus on Mother's Day that mothers make dinners. Well, some do, some don't. Some mothers go out to dinner and take their children out every single day. And some fathers make dinners because they prefer cooking more than the mothers. Historically, mothers have made dinners, and historically, mothers have cared for the children in very unique ways, where they might dress the children, change the children's diapers, nurse the children. All of these things fall into the category of nurturing, and that's really what a mother does. So she holds those hearts of her children because she was the one that provided all of the things for the child. She gave them the food that kept them alive. She nursed them from her own body. She dressed them. She taught them how to get along with others. She wiped their tears and washed their scraped knees. She did all of those things for the children. Those are all nurturing things. Now, a big part of nurturing is teaching. So mother is a teacher of her children. So she gives them learning in all things, in social things as well as intellectual things and personal things. So mother teaches the children cleanliness and hygiene and good respect for other people, how to get along with friends, and how to solve their problems. Mother provides security for her children because she does all of this teaching for them. Children know where to turn if they have problems. I remember years ago, I said to a group of young people that I was teaching in a class, I said, now, if you are voting one day and you want to know how to pick a good candidate, how are you going to know that? And my daughter, who was 14 at the time, sitting in the group, raised her hand and she said, I'm going to ask my mom. And immediately I thought, oh no, she's not going to know for herself. And then I thought, wait a second, that's the best answer she could have given because she knows where to turn for answers or for discussions. She would call me up and say, Mom, I want to talk about the candidates. And I want you to tell me what candidates you like and why, and what candidates you don't like and why. And then she also knows that her mom would say, now listen, Paige, you need to go research this for yourself. That's important, but this is what I think, and here's where you can find information, I would say as a mother. She was saying to that whole group, I trust my mother to teach me all kinds of things, and I would go to her for even some of those important life decisions. That's the type of security that a parent gives to their child when the parent is willing to do education on all things, spiritual things, social things, political things, psychological things. That's right. In our world that's obsessed right now with psychology and that is obsessed with how people feel and their emotions, parents need to be doing good training on the emotions of the child and the social development of the child. Schools are trying to teach social and emotional development, but they are failing, and they will continue to fail at that teaching. The children will continue to have social and emotional problems if the parents do not get involved in that social emotional training and doing it the way that they should be doing it and not the way that it's being delivered at the schools. And if you want more information on that, I definitely have more videos on social and emotional training on this channel that you can definitely look into so you can understand what's going on on with that movement so that you can know what parents need to be giving to their children. Parents give all of this security and training to their children, especially mothers, because mothers, until the child hits about age 11 or 12, actually is the primary influence in the child's life. Once the child hits about 12, then dad ends up becoming a more primary influence in the life of the child, and the children start to see dad as the goal person that they're wanting to become. Now, if dad is pointing the hearts of the children back toward mom, mom will maintain a lot of influence there. But if not, he could literally rip the hearts of the children away from mother and pull them away from those mother values that they were taught. Now, I know not all mothers are teaching the values they should and doing the best job. Either way, though, mother holds that position in the heart of the child. So how does mother influence the nations and the society? Well, very easily through the family. Now, of course, mother can do things like I do. I teach people, I go and advocate for things, I write bills, I work with legislators to try to protect children and families. But that really is not my primary influence on society. If I really want to change the world, I change one heart. First mine, and then the hearts of my children. And that is going to make the largest impact on society, because my children's children and my children's children's children will be different if I take my job as mother seriously. That could be hundreds of people in just a couple of generations if I truly am concerned with doing the best job I can at touching their hearts. So that's how we change the world. If I teach my children the principle of self-government, which of course, as you can see, the title of this channel is the Teaching Self-Government channel, I do focus on teaching them self-government, how to control themselves. What is that going to do for society? Then they are going to be able to perpetuate the principle of self-government in society, in politics, in relationships, in the workplace, and in their families. So mother truly does change society. And you know what? She doesn't get paid one penny for it. Nobody pays mothers for being mothers, and they shouldn't either. Because if they did, that would be a slap in the face for what motherhood is. Now, I am a person who lives a life of mission. I try on purpose to make the world a better place with all of the teaching I do on this channel, with all of my courses and books. That's what I am all about. And you know what? None of that work is about any money that I ever get, because it's mission, because it's purpose, because it's impact. And you know what? Mother does not need to be paid for her job either. In fact, if you equate mother to any other paid worker, then you are saying that anyone can do her job, and they can't. At the United Nations, where I consult on a regular basis, they regularly refer to mothers as unpaid workers. That suggests that someone gives them the job of having a child, as if they're just a birth factory. And that suggests that anyone else can take over their job when somebody sees that they haven't done a good enough job with it. How insulting. How insulting that we think, even as mothers sometimes, that, oh man, I should be paid for this. This is every career under the sun. No, this is greater than them all, because this is where you change the world. Right now, you change society. If you change your heart, you decide to love motherhood, then your children will be different people, and the whole world will be different people. That is how valuable mothers are. Mothers, not just women, mothers truly are the most powerful people in society. And our children need to know that we honor ourselves so that they will honor us too, and want to have families one day just like we do. Sure, the world is becoming a scary place. There's a lot of things that are going on that might threaten what we perceive as our future happiness or our future prosperity. But so long as there are mothers who love their children, and there are grandmothers who continually perpetuate that love and that teaching, this world will always have a safe place. It is in the heart of mothers that is the power that they carry. If you have enjoyed this video, you might like learning more about things that I teach about family. There is a video, it's a full-length class I made a long time ago called The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success. And in this class, I talk about how we put ourselves in expectation traps and maybe even stop our progression as parents, and what we can do to create a cycle for success in our personal lives and in our families. So click on the link to The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success now.